Hello everybody, my name's Jonathan and welcome to Barely Unboxed. It's showtime! So we have a Tim Burton filled video today. We're going to be looking at some Nightmare Before Christmas toys and some Beetlejuice themed toys. And also I made a custom Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas, and we'll take a look at how I went about making her. I used a Shadow High Zoey Electra doll to make her, and it was the perfect doll base to use to make Sally. And you probably saw in the thumbnail, but you will see more detail of her and how I went about making her. So stay tuned for that. But first we're going to go through and look at some of these really cool toys that I found. So I think to start, we have these little figurines that I found at Dollar Tree, and they're available right now at Dollar Tree. If I can find a link for their website to order them, I'll put that down below. But you can go to a Dollar Tree, and they'll most likely have these unless they're sold out. I know these are very popular. I've heard multiple people being excited to find them at Dollar Tree while I've been at Dollar Tree. So there's 5 of them to collect, and this is Santa Jack. They're really well made. It comes with a bonus card that's holographic. Here is Jack's barcode, and these are $1.25. These are made by let's see, Just Play, I believe. Yeah, Just Play. I don't have my glasses on, so I'm like, because, you know, can't wear glasses in costume. So let's take a look at this Jack. Here's his trading card, and it is really cool. It's holographic. It's very small, not like a normal trading card. It just has artwork on both sides. And then here is the Jack figurine. The detail on these is really well done, and they even have like a little stone looking base that they're standing on. These will be great decorations for Christmas, especially this one. Alright, so we have Jack. Next we have Sally. I love Sally. She's one of my favorite characters overall, just from anything. But her card is stuck to the packaging. It ripped her card. Look at that. Oh, that's disappointing. It was just stuck in the side, but there's that. It's a little crooked looking, but I love Sally. In fact, her voice is Catherine O'Hara, and I love Catherine O'Hara. She's also in the Beetlejuice movies, which I love her in those as well. Have you seen Beetlejuice? I shouldn't even be able to say that, considering I'm dressed as him, but you know, we'll break the rules. So here is Sally, and again, the detail on these is really well done. Sally, I have such a soft spot for. Oh, and you know what? They all have different barcodes, so here is Sally's barcode, if you want to look for her. And then we have Oogie Boogie. Now, the only thing that would make these better is if this would glow in the dark. And there's his barcode. Because you know me, I love glow in the dark stuff. Alright, so here is Oogie Boogie's trading card. Very cool. And here is the figure. The detail, again, he has like the burlap sack detail. He's just so cool. And he's basically the main villain of the original film. It was a Tim Burton story brought to life by Henry Selick. So here is his barcode for Jack Skellington. And here is his trading card. It's very cool. And for his, it's an actual model of the character from the movie, whereas the other two was art. The other 3 were all artwork, like hand drawn. So here's Jack, very cool. Jack, the only difference is, the only detail he doesn't have is the white pinstripes on his black suit. Because, oddly enough, Jack and Beetlejuice kind of have a very similar look, just the opposite kind of colors. So, here is Zero's barcode. And again, I wish this Zero was a glow-in-the-dark figure. I already checked, because oddly enough, I have to check that for everything. And here is Zero's trading card. Then is artwork, just hand-drawn artwork of him. And here is Zero. And he is really cute. He has the pumpkin nose and everything. And he is slightly translucent, so very cool. All right, so there we have those little figures. Those are really, really worth it, I think, for $1.25. You can get all of them for a good price, like overall. You get a whole little collection of figures, and you can use them in dioramas and all that. So, very, very cool. They look great together. And then I picked this up, I believe, at Target. I want to say, or I don't know. I'll have to look for a link for this. So this is a Beetlejuice for the sequel. Plush dangler. There are 8 to collect. I really hope we get this normal Beetlejuice or the sandworm or tuxedo Beetlejuice would be awesome too. They're all pretty cool though. And here's the barcode for that. And it looks like these are made by Bolzatoy. Never heard of Bolzatoy before. Alright, so let's see who we got. I saw the sequel, and it was really good. Like, if you like the original movie, then most likely you are going to like the sequel just as much. Alright, who did we get? I don't think it's the sandworm. Oh, it is Bob. Look at that. We got Bob. And in the sequel, he was in the first one. He's like a shrunken head guy. So that's pretty cool. And these have just a clip so you can hang them. You can hang these from your rear view mirror in your car or from your bag, like a backpack or a purse. They're really cool. All right. So next we have 2 different series of these figural bag clips. This is series 1, and it looks like there are 6 main ones to collect, plus I'm assuming that's Oogie Boogie is an exclusive. And I hope we get Sally. I actually do also love Lock, Shock, and Barrel. I think they're great. Catherine O'Hara also did the voice of Shock. Little factoid there. Alright, let's see who we got in this one. Oh my god, we got Sally! I am so happy that we got Sally. I'm going to put her on my bag. Definitely. I love her aesthetic. Her whole design is just so good. And the multicolors for her dress. Oh, I love it. Alright, so the only other thing inside these is a cardboard that protects the figure so you can't exactly feel who's in the packaging. But I'm so glad we got Sally. So this is a Series 8 figural bag clip. So we went all the way from 1 to 8, and these glow in the dark, so I'm obsessed. I would love to get Zero or Oogie Boogie or Jack out of here. I think those would be really cool ones. And there are 2 exclusives, and it looks like Jack with a gift, probably Santa Jack. Looks like he has a beard. And also Sally, and I think she's holding possibly the Forget-Me-Not that she fucks the petals off in the movie. So I don't know if I showed the barcode for that. That's the barcode for that. And Series 1's barcode, in case I forgot to show that. Can't believe they have 8 series of these. I think these are new ones. Oh my god, we got exclusive Sally. Look at that. And she's holding like a Sally pumpkin or something. That's really cool. Let's check these out next to each other. That's really, really cool. Maybe I'll put them both on my bag. I have a messenger bag that I sometimes carry with me. These are really, really cool. And I'll show you what this looks like glowing in the dark at the end of the video. All right, so the only thing we have left is this Miniverse ball plus my custom Sally, which I will show you. So these are MGA's Miniverse Make It Mini Food, a Halloween edition. And these actually have a sandworm, and it's a rare one. These are the series 2, I think, of Halloween. I didn't get any of them last year because they sold out so fast. It actually says right here, ultra rare for the sandworm. So I actually have 4 of these, and we're going to open them one by one. And this one we will open last and see if I'm right. I think this is the sandworm. So let's find out. So here we're going to open up the 3 MGA Miniverse balls that I talked about. I actually had a lot of fun opening these. So the way these work is you can see pictures on the side, and the picture on the side matches which one is in the ball. There is one exception to that, and I'll explain that when we get to it. But the first one I showed you was the cake, and then the bug punch, and then the dirt cup is this one. So the dirt cup is the special case in this. So I have 2 of them with the dirt cup image because that's how you find the rare sandworm. This number right here does not have a letter A in front of it, but this other dirt cup one does. So the one without the A is actually the sandworm. I found that online. Someone was talking about how easy it is to find this one once you know that. The other thing with this is if you shine a very light flashlight through the wrapper, you can see the black and white stripes that are on the bottom of it. I couldn't figure that out though, but the code was definitely easy to figure out. I just looked through the entire case that was at the store I was at, and I finally found one that had it. So we're unwrapping the cake one first, because honestly it's my favorite of the bunch as far as the way they look on the photos. And the packaging on these are so adorable. Whoever designed these did a really, really good job. Each one of these has a table. That's how the MGA Miniverse has been. And this one also came with this little spiral placemat for the cake. The chill out bag will have the resin in it. And it's because it's supposed to be like something that's cold. Like the resin's usually like milk or a liquid of some sort, or like pudding, or, stuff like that. So each one of these has the table, which you have to usually assemble it. They're not usually assembled. And what I love about these is the packaging has cute little Halloween stuff. And I love cute Halloween stuff so much. Way more than scary Halloween stuff. I'm not a big scary Halloween fan. I'm more of a cutesy Halloween fan. I always have been. I have made some scary costumes though, because those can be fun to make. But this has utensils in it. Each one of these comes with a pack like that, and it also has this little ghost that goes on the top of the plastic dome for the case. And that is so you can put the table inside of these and display your item on it. And most of the time you can put the lid on and it's like a little display, but sometimes the things that you make are a little too tall. So I often don't put the things inside there. So here is a little cake stand, and I think it's just so cute. It has the black and white stripes on the bottom, and the little spiral cake placemat thing goes on top of that. And you can build the cake on top of that to protect your surfaces, but if you do get the resin on your surface, you can just wipe it up with like an alcohol wipe or just a wet wipe of some sort. I just use a wet paper towel. Now this little vampire package is so cute, and it comes with a little icing web and the little bat cookies that say sun-baked sweets, and those go on top of the cake. They're so adorable. I had so much fun opening these and building them. Now here's the instructions, and it shows you the storage, the table assembly, how to make it, how to set it. Apparently MJA now sells their own black light that you can use, like UV light, for this series. I'm gonna have to look for that. I just have like a normal little flashlight, and I'm kind of curious what theirs looks like, so I'm gonna have to check Amazon for that. So the little cake is just adorable, and it actually looks like real cake to me, especially the bottom part. It has that kind of texture. It looks like a very deep, rich chocolate. So the instructions show you how to build it from top to bottom. You start at number 1, and the resin always comes with like this extra cap if it's in like a little squeeze bottle like this. Sometimes it just has a lid you screw off and you can pour it. But this one, they want you to have a little more control, so they give you the little nozzle cap. And I tried to cover the whole thing and put little drips so they would drip down like that. I thought it looked really cool. Now these sprinkles are absolutely adorable, and I actually have some left, and they make a really great prop, like for a dollhouse or a diorama. Like if you want to build a scene with your dolls, you can make it look like they're making cookies or a cake. Now, if you notice here, I accidentally get some sprinkles in those little holes on top. You can see there's an orange sprinkle in the little holes. So I popped this thing in my UV chamber that I have, and once it was set, I turned it upside down and the sprinkles came out. But I have a UV chamber that I got one year as a Christmas present from my partner, and it's come in so handy. I use it for my artwork, for making UV resin items, and it works really well for setting these. I just pop it in there, I set the timer. It has like a little spinning wheel that it spins the item around really slowly in the light. Works really well. So now we're just going to decorate the top, and just make sure you kind of keep an eye on where those holes are. I lost track of where the holes were, and later on I had a little bit of a hard time getting the bats to go in on the top, because you cannot see those through the purple glaze resin. But the spatula worked really well for spreading it, and the tweezers worked really well for placing the web so you're not touching any of that resin. But if you do get resin on your hands, make sure you wash your hands right away with soap and water. Wear gloves even if you have some. I just don't have any currently that fit me very well, and they get in the way. So yeah, you can see here I'm struggling a little bit. I had to move the web around to find out where those little holes were. Once I found them, you're good. Just leave it in there, and when you set the resin with the UV light, it'll stay in there. It'll hold it in. But yeah, I just added more sprinkles. Make sure you don't move those bats, because sprinkles might get in the holes then. And again, I popped that in my UV chamber after I used the UV flashlight on it, and perfect. Set it really well. So now we're going to go and open the dirt cups. These were so much fun. The packaging for this, again, I think I've said this already, but like the little box that the little glasses come in, And I love this table with the like weird wobbly shape of like, it looks like a floor. And again, these are the tools, so it comes with another little ghost for the top and the little shovels. And the shovels you actually do use, you'll see. They're not just part of the toy like they end up, but they are a tool to help build the toy. And again, this packaging is so cute. This has gummy worms. They're like sour worms, and they look so much like the trolley sour gummy worms, which are delicious. They're one of my favorites. I love the red and blue ones. And these cookies that go on top, so cute. So it shows you to build it layer by layer and then use the light, the UV light, or the sun. You can put these out in the sun, which is on a sunny day works perfectly. When I made these, it wasn't really that sunny, so not a good day to make them. So I'm glad I had my UV resin. So here is the little cake, which I forgot to really show, but it's like a little chocolate pound cake looking thing, and it actually is like spongy, like a pound cake. And you're supposed to use these little shovels to kind of dig it out. It's kind of like wet sand, but it's like more firm. I don't know how to explain it. It's almost like a building compound, like Play-Doh, but with sand in it. I'm sure there's already something like that. Like squand. I don't know. Maybe that's not the same thing. But this comes with a resin that's supposed to look like chocolate, like milk chocolate. But honestly, it looks a little more like caramel to me. Whereas the cake looks like chocolate. And that sounds delicious, chocolate and caramel. So I just used the tweezers to kind of move that resin around, and then I was able to sit my flashlight on top of these to set it, so I didn't have to use my UV chamber for this, which was good because it took so many layers. I didn't want to have to keep going back and forth. So definitely, if you're going to buy these, invest in a little black light flashlight, or look for the MGA branded UV light. I don't know what it looks like. I definitely need to look into that. So these cookies are adorable. One of them says the RIP, rest in peace, but one of them just says bye on it and has a little skull. I love that. These gummy worms though, like opening them up, I felt like a giant opening an actual pack of gummy worms because they looked so real. They even have the red and blue and the yellow and the orange, but then they just have the green one, and I think the green ones are usually, I think they're like green and orange usually, and then you have the red and blue, and then what is it? I can't remember the other color, but anyway, they look so similar. And you just stick those shovels in, and then you put the little gravestone cookies, and then I used all the worms. I figured, why not use all the worms? And then I just used the flashlight on it a little bit, but then I popped them in my UV chamber for the rest, and it worked really well. So the last one we're making is the Bug Punch, which come with these cute little glasses. I love the table that came with this. It's like very Tim Burton-y, has that black and white spiral, and it came with this cute, adorable little purple skull tray that the bug punches sit on. And then again, we have the chill out bag, so that has the resin. The resin for this is really cool. It's supposed to be toxic green apple. And I love green apple flavored candy, drinks, soda. I unfortunately don't drink a lot of regular soda, but there is a green apple soda that was around for a while, and it was a Mountain Dew. It was delicious. I had it one time. So it also comes with these gummy bugs and these ice cubes and the whipped creams. And they actually gave me an extra purple whipped cream, which I just saved. Maybe I'll use it for something that I make with leftover stuff from these. Like, they always give you more resin than you need, and sometimes they give you extra little pieces like that whipped cream. So this one's a really easy one to build. I have to say this one was the easiest of the 3 of these with the resin, because you just squeeze the liquid in there and you fill it up with the bugs, put the straw in. It's looks real. It looks like actual liquid, which I think is so cool. And luckily these glasses are a perfect size that I was able to use my blacklight on them in a way that was really cool, and I'll show you here in a second. So I'm adding the ice cubes first, which look really cool once you get them in there. And then you add the bugs, and the bugs are really cool. There's little worms in here, and they're not sour worms. They're like the regular gummy worms. They're like red and yellow. And there's like a little black spider or beetle. I'm not sure what it was. And a lot of times the black ones taste like black licorice, which I absolutely love. But if it's real black licorice, I try to stay away from it because it can raise your heart rate. But anyway, now you know. So if you saw there, I was able to sit the flashlight directly on top. And I just left it there until it was hard enough to put the whipped creams on top, and then I set it on again. I popped them all back in my UV chamber to do a final hardening on them. And the cake is my favorite one, probably. It looks amazing. The dirt cups look a little messy, but they still look delicious and awesome. And I think the drinks turned out really cool. You can see the little bugs inside and the ice cubes. All right, so there's the 3 that we opened, and we still have this one to go. Bug Punch, Spooky Cake, and Dirt Cups. And then there's also the ultra rare Sandworm. So, like I was showing earlier, it's the code on these that you look for. And also the image of the Dirt Cup on the side. It'll always be the Dirt Cup, and then that code, which we looked at already, but there it is again without the A in front of it. And when you peel this off, the dead giveaway that you got the sandworm will be that there are stripes. And unfortunately, this does not seem to have stripes, but I think we did get it. That is weird. They must have changed it on some of these. But it looks like what's inside here, which you'll see here in just a second. Yep. There are different stuff in here. There it is. There's the stripes. That's what we were looking for. So there's the difference. The regular ones have the orange, and the rare sandworm one has the black and white stripes, which are a very Beetlejuice, Tim Burton thing. Just Tim Burton in general. He loves the black and white. And it also has a green lid. So that's really cool. It comes with all kinds of stuff. It has name tags. It says, hello, my name is. All right, so we don't need that. Oh, wow. So the table is already assembled for me. That's interesting. And it looks like stone. All right. And then we have, this is cool, Bio Exorcist Beetlejuice. That is so cool. What is in here? So in here we have these. This is Desert Rocks. That's cool. This is set of 2. And then I think this is sand. Yeah. So this is Saturn sand, because that's where the sandworms live. They live on Saturn, and when you go there, you get transported to Saturn. And then we also have The Great Beyond, Pearly Gates. So that's from Beetlejuice 2. Oh wow, there's so much. Oh my god, there's so much cool stuff in here. Okay, so we got a newspaper looking thing, and it looks like you can actually read most of the stuff on here. That is cool. It's the Afterlife. I think Beetlejuice is reading that in the movie. We got this little mini handbook for the recently deceased. It opens and has pages. That's really cool. Like, that in itself is worth getting this for. And then we have a door, case of emergency. There's no exit. All right, and then we also have this little box that says Sandscape Desert. It has a little rake. So it's supposed to be like one of those little like Zen garden kind of looking things. And then I believe this will be the sandworm. It says 2 heads. Call me. All right, and this little box will just opens up. Okay, I am really impressed. If you can find this rare one, definitely get it. Oh my gosh, what is in here? He's in pieces because I think you're supposed to put it in the sand, and it comes with a little tissue paper in the box. It's kind of cool. And here is the head of the sandworm. Very cool. And then he has a tail and another piece too. Okay, I'm going to move all this stuff so we can make this here on camera. These little mini food things are so amazing. All right, and then there is one more pack that we didn't open. And it says, hear the dial tone, don't let it go dead. Never trust the living. It's cool. This is like our tools. So it comes with the tweezers that all of these seem to come with, and the little ghost top, which you saw earlier, that goes in the lid. And then we'll just put that right there. That's pretty neat. I like that. Newspaper, the name tags, everything is so cool. All right, so here is the instructions on how to do this. And this one does not have any resin. Let's look at the rake. It has stripes on it. That's pretty cool. It's very Tim Burton-y. All right. So, like, you can use this box once you build it to keep your book and your name tags inside. Maybe even the newspaper can fold up and go in there. So it looks like we take this sand. All right, so we have sandworm head, and then we have sandworm tail and that, but we just put the head in first apparently, and then we open this little bit of sand. This is gonna be a mess, isn't it? And then we pour this. Oh wow, it really is just colored sand. If this falls over, you are doomed. Sand will go everywhere. All right, and then you use the rake, I guess, to move it around. It sort of looks like kind of sand that you put in those little bottles that you get at like the fair. And you can rake it. It doesn't really leave any impressions. And then you take the rest of the sandworm and push it down into the sand. And there you have the sandworm in the sand. Being very careful not to drop it. All right, and then you place the rocks. So let's get the rocks. And it shows you to use the tweezers. All right. So there's the rocks are in there. Okay. And then we have our little door. Okay. And I was supposed to put the door in first so the sand can go on it, but I think we'll be fine if we do it that way. So there you have that. There is the sandworm. That is so cool. And then you can just put it on this. You can put the rake in there with it. Kind of on the side. So I didn't show with the other ones, but I will show with this one because that's probably how I'm going to display it. Is you can push this table down into the bottom, and it helps to take the table apart to do it, so you can really push it in there, make sure it doesn't pop out, and then you push that on there, and then you can put your item in, and then you put the lid on, and you can even keep like the other stuff down below in here. And then put the lid on. Some of the things don't fit very well inside these, but this one fits perfectly. And that's probably how I'm going to display that one. The rest of these are really fun items to use with your dolls and your action figures so that you can like play out little parties, like Halloween parties and stuff. Now we're going to take a look at my custom Sally, and it was a long process, and it was well worth it. So here we have Zoey Electra, and I thought she would be the perfect candidate to make a Sally custom because of her skin tone. It's like the perfect match for her. So basically, I'm just going to undress her and get her ready to have her hair dyed. And I will be able to use these accessories for spare clothes for my other Shadow High and Rainbow High dolls. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how she turns out. But first we need to get her hair undone because we need no like space buns in her hair anymore. We have to make sure all the tinsel is removed as well. After quite a while, I think this took me like off and on like 3 or 4 days, I was able to remove pretty much all the tinsel. Later on when I'm dyeing her hair, I do find a few more because they will not dye, and this is all the tinsel that I was able to get out of her hair, and I think she looks really good without the tinsel. So I'm using this scarlet dye, and I'm doing a sink dye on her to see if that will work, and then if it doesn't work, we will do a stovetop dye, which should make it, you know, more of a vivid color. But sometimes just with the really hot water in the sink and enough of the dye, you can get the color that you want. I've done other dolls where I dyed their hair with the RIT dye, and this is just normal RIT dye, not the dye more. So here's the red that we achieved with that, and you can see some of the tinsel is showing right there. So it's a good way to find leftover tinsel when you dye their hair. It'll stand out definitely. So now we're going to do some sunshine orange to kind of counteract that like purple tone that her hair has, because her hair was like a light blue and we dyed it red, and the scarlet has a bit of a purple tint to it. So this, after we rinse it out, it looks like this. It's more in line with the hair color that we want. Now, when you do the sink dye, it is really easy to rinse out the dye. I just use some dish soap and I just rinse the hair with it and wash it and massage it into the hair. And then I use a paper towel to see if there's any dye left. And you can see there is some dye, so then we just rinse it again. And sometimes it takes up to like 2 or 3 washes with the soap to get all that dye out. And then now there's no dye on the paper towel. That's my way of figuring it out. That way you're not ruining any towels. So I was not happy with the color of her hair, so we are going to do the stovetop. And this way you can use vinegar, and you can actually use the vinegar in the sink dye too. It helps make the color more vivid, because you'll see here in a second what her hair looks like when it's dried. And see, it's still kind of pastel. It's not that deep red that I want for Sally to have, because Sally does have like a very deep reddish orange hair color. Depends. Sometimes it's more red or orange depending on the toy or the product that's made her. So here's what we ended up with, and it is very dark. You can see the dye actually dyed her little circles on her forehead, but that's fine. We're going to be removing those anyway. So I do dip her hair one more time in the red scarlet dye, because I felt like the orange had made it too orange. So here's what we ended up with after that third dip on the stovetop. Now, when you use a stovetop, sometimes the dye, it doesn't want to come out very well, but it came out really cleanly after a few washes. And then we just condition her hair, and it's perfect. So now we're going to work on her accessories. So I have these boots from Gabriella Isley, and they're extra. I had an extra pair of her boots, and the shape of these is like perfect for Sally, and they just need to be painted black. So I'm using this Model Masters black paint. I think it's called Jet Black. The label on it's actually been worn off, so you can't really read the name of it. But I think it's called Jet Black. And I just make sure I get really good coverage on everything. And this paint has really, really good coverage with one coat, usually. And then I'm sealing that with a matte varnish. And this stuff is a permanent varnish, so only use it when you are sure of what you've done. So here's the eyes I'm going to give her, and they are actually from one of the twins. It was from, I think it was Laurel Devious. And I think like they're pale enough that they'll look like Sally eyes, basically. So now I'm just using pure acetone to remove most of the paint, but I'm actually leaving some of it to help me out with my customizing. I leave the lips alone. I leave the bottom eyelashes and the blushing there because I think it looks really cute and it'll tie in with what I have planned. So now we're going to use this black paint and give her some eyeliner and some wings on her eyelids. And I just use a small brush and I take my time and I try to keep it even. And then if you need to clean it up, you can use a Q-tip with some acetone or even just some water on it to kind of clean off the black paint. But because it is black, sometimes it's hard to get it all off if you make a mistake. And I didn't have too much trouble. The one part later on that I had trouble with, and I don't think I ended up recording it, was her eyebrows. So Sally actually does not have eyebrows, but when I got done with her face up, she looked really weird to me. So now I'm just taking her body and I'm painting on the stitches, and I'm using a tiny brush for this. I actually end up, I think, changing the brush to a different brush halfway through. And I actually added a little bit more around her neck after that because I thought it didn't look quite right only having it in the front. And now I'm using that same matte varnish I used on the shoes to seal these stitches that I painted on. And I also painted her edges and her lips with a red paint. And now I'm giving her some eyeshadow with a Color Shift Aqua Flash is the name of the color. I love these color shift paints. I use them so often. They work really well for eyeshadow. They can be painted over top of dark colors or light colors, and it gives you a different effect, as you can see. Now I'm taking an aqua green. This is a really good paint brand, and that I'm going back over all the stitches I did because they were just too dark, and I wanted them to be more in line with how her stitches look in a lot of the products that you see with her. They're usually like an aqua color, and I thought it looked so much better that way. And after I got them all painted, I used the same matte varnish on them that I used on these shoes, but now I'm going back on these shoes with a satin gloss to make them look more like leather. Now this part I was waiting on because I ordered from Etsy from Haute Couture, and they make some of the most adorable clothes, and they make them in pretty much every doll size. I chose the rainbow high doll size, and I actually asked for the sleeves to be shortened a little bit on their design so that I could see her hands, and they were able to do that for me. And then I also ordered this really cute bag to go with it. The craftsmanship on this dress is amazing. The Velcro is really high quality as well, and the stitching is really nice, and I love this fabric. It definitely looks like Sally's dress. And then I got this Jack bag, and it's double-sided. Has a happy face and a like angry face, and it does open, but it's so tiny, and it has like a ribbon as the strap. And I'll put a link down below for the Etsy shop for them. They also sent with it this card back that was part of the packaging. You can fold it and glue it together into a shopping bag. And I had some leftover ribbon that I took out of Harley Limestone's hair when I used her as a custom for my previous video. And it works really well as a handle for this, which you'll see here after I get it all glued together. And I'm just using a super glue, but here is the black, it's like string basically, that was in Harley Limestone's braids. And I'm just gluing it on, and you have a awesome little shopping bag, and it's perfect for dolls. I love it. So here I have a package that I was so anxiously waiting on so I could add this to my Sally custom. I ordered this from my artist friend, the Silvermoor Bramble, and we are like best friends. We call each other beasties. She makes some of the most amazing creations. She makes a lot of dolls that she likes to call poppets, and I love that. They are so charming. She made a bunch of them. It's a little black cat, and they have like these little beautiful shiny gemstone eyes. I think it's adorable. It has a very Tim Burton feel to it. All right, are we ready to see the final result? Here she is. She turned out way better than I could have ever hoped for. This outfit from Haute Couture is so perfect. The boots that I painted look so good with these socks that I also had left over from an order that I got socks when I made my custom witch. So the socks are from Lovely Woods, and I'll put a link down below for them again. And they were the ones that I got the hat for my witch from, and the socks. But this bag is also amazing that I also ordered to go with this outfit. And here is her face up close. I tried to give her really pale eyes so that they looked more like they do in the movie. And so there is her finished look. A lot of her scars, or stitches, scars, whatever, you want to call them. You can't really see because they're under the clothes, but I know they're there. And the hair color, I am impressed with. It turned out perfectly. It just took, a few tries to get. And then, of course, I have this little cat that I ordered from my artist friend, the Silvermoor Bramble. And she made a bunch of these cats, and this one with the orange eyes, I had to get to go with my Sally, because in the movie there's a scene where Sally is with a cat. So the only thing that I wanted to still make for her, and I just did not have the time, was a forget-me-not flower for her to hold. But I think with the cat and the bag and everything, it's perfect. And also we got that little make it like Haute Couture cardboard bag, and I put the string on it, and now she can go shopping for more clothes. Very Rainbow High to go shopping for clothes, or make your own clothes actually would be more in line, but still. I really hope you enjoyed seeing this custom come to life and all these amazing Make It Miniverse items are just so cool. And see, you can like totally use these with a doll. There we go. So she's going to eat a dirt cup. It's very cool. I love it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, give it a like and share the video with anyone you think might be interested in seeing a custom Sally come to life, or if they're interested in these MGA Make It Miniverse items, or these little figures, or the keychains. We had a lot of stuff today. We got a lot of Sallys, which was totally, I didn't mean to have both of these be Sallys. It just happened that way. So, lots of Sallys. Very cool. Again, if you are interested in joining my membership, I have a link down below for that, and you get early access to all my videos. Thank you guys so much. I hope you have a wonderful Halloween. Be safe out there. Love you guys. Take care. Bye.